Hello and welcome to Agenda 2030. I am Tony Nkamiang John. Once again, we will on today's episode be bringing to you interesting reports from the laudable efforts of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in Nigeria. Do stay with us. In line with the objectives of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, a 208-bed model transit facility aimed at supporting women and girls who have suffered abuse and violence to stand on their feet economically was among the projects recently commissioned in Ekiti State by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, OSAP SDGs, and the state government. It was in every sense a gift for the season. As Nigeria joins the global community to celebrate 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, the federal government, through the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, OSAP SDGs, took a major step to provide succor to victims of such abuses with the commissioning of a 208-bed model transit facility in Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State, on Thursday, 26 November 2020. The transit home for victims of domestic violence and abuse, which is equipped to provide lifelong skills that women and girls who have suffered violence can use to meet the demands of everyday life, was commissioned at a ceremony attended by Governor Kayode Fayemi, his wife Erelu Bisi, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadiq Farouk, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, Princess Adejoke Orilokwe Adefulere, among other dignitaries. The sprawling facility contains an administrative block, a crèche, 250-seater conference hall, 200-room self-contained apartment, and a skills acquisition center for hairdressing, tailoring, photography, among others. Speaking during the commissioning, Princess Orilokwe Adefulere noted that the project was aimed at supporting women who have suffered abuse and violence to stand on their feet economically. She noted that the facility will aid the achievement of Goal 3, 5, 10, 16, and 17 of the SDGs.
This 208-bed transit home we are commissioning today is designed to support victims of violence and abuse in Ekiti State, with all the needed help to live a normal life and be like they choose to be. SDG 5 is a standalone goal in its own right. Gender equality cut across all 17 SDG goals, and it is seen as a policy intervention that activates positive multiplier effects across sectors of development. Besides, achieving gender equality and realizing the human rights, dignity and capability of women and girls is a central requirement of just and suitable work. In the wisdom of the framer of SDGs, women and girls everywhere must have equal rights and opportunity, and to be able to live free of violence, free of discrimination and abuse. What we are doing today should be the other way around, to keep women at home and find alternative place for men when they abuse their women and their wives. But to achieve this, we need a strong instrument, and going forward, especially with the possible amendment of the Nigerian Constitution, we will definitely achieve it. Men and women must be protected, they must be loved, they must be supported to be able to achieve their full potential, including grooming their children and supporting their husbands.
The presidential aide also commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs for their commitment to improve issues involving women and the girl child. Orilokwe Adefulere, who urged state government to ensure that they mainstream SDGs into their plans and policies, commended the Ekiti state government for its commitment to the 2030 agenda.
The federal government is partnering with the state government to achieve goals, all the SDG goals as related to women. As we commission this facility by the Honorable Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, along with the Governor of Ekiti State, we want to ensure that we continue to prioritize. We want to appeal to the governor of Ekiti State to continue to prioritize issues relating to women as the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria is doing. I'm sure working together will give us a lot of mileage to protect women from further abuse, to empower women psychologically, politically, spiritually, and emotionally, so that they can achieve their full potential, support their husband, and nurture their children and prepare them for the future.
In her own speech at the occasion, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk described the facility as another evidence of commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari to the achievement of global goals. She also noted that the facility was commissioned at the right time, given recent indications that the COVID-19 pandemic has led to increase in gender-based violence. The minister assured that President Muhammadu Buhari's administration will continue to implement policies and initiatives that will ensure more protection for girls and women with introduction of a broader social investment program in support of vulnerable members of the Nigerian society. She also urged all stakeholders to work together to promote the rights of women and girls everywhere in Nigeria for a more gender-inclusive society where no one will be left behind. Also speaking during the event, Governor Fayemi said the facility is especially significant as it is coming on stream during the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence and will complement the State Sexual Assault Referral Center, popularly known as Moremi Clinic, commissioned the day before in the fight against gender-based violence. According to him, the transit home as a safe haven for women will also help the state not just to ensure that victims of gender-based abuse get justice, but to also provide succor to them. The governor noted that his administration has already signified its commitment to fight against gender-based violence with its naming and shaming policy as demonstrated by its sexual offenders register.
Today is indeed a great day, and this event is another milestone in our efforts to address the problem of gender-based violence in Ekiti State. I am particularly pleased to note that this event is taking place during the annual Global 16 Days campaign against gender-based violence that runs from November 25th to December 10th every year. This is another example of ways in which Ekiti is keen to demonstrate global best practices in the promotion and protection of the rights of women.
He added that violence against women is a serious violation of human rights with impacts ranging from physical, sexual, and mental consequences to even permanent disabilities for the victims.
Prime Minister, I'm here with you alongside other people to join you in commissioning what I consider to be a much more longer-term response to gender-based violence in our society, which is the Transit Home Shelter and Skills Acquisition Center for Women. This is a 200-bed facility designed to support victims of abuse in our state, a safe haven for our women.
Ekiti First Lady, who is also the chairperson of the State Gender-Based Committee, commended Princess Adejoke Orilokwe Adefulire and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs for ensuring the completion of the project. Farouk also seized the opportunity to flag off the Rural Women's Cash Grant in Ekiti State with the distribution of cash to vulnerable women, with about 3,200 women from 16 local councils benefiting from the one-off cash grant of 20,000 naira each. Aside the transit home, Ekiti State Government and OSAP SDGs also commissioned a total of 65 projects executed under the 2018 rounds of Conditional Grant Scheme. Under the scheme, state and local governments access funding from the federal government for execution of projects that will enhance the health, education, and general socio-economic well-being of the people. A total of 65 projects selected after conducting the needs assessment of the communities in 4 local government areas spread across the 3 senatorial districts of the state were commissioned and handed over for the use of the people during the commissioning.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Specifically, Moba, Ijeru, Oye, and Ekiti Southwest local government areas were selected for the projects focused on addressing Goal 3, good health and well-being, Goal 4, quality education, and Goal 6, clean water and sanitation of 2030 agenda. Some of the projects include classrooms, boreholes, health centers, ambulances, VIP toilets, school furniture, and staff quarters for medical staff, among others. Speaking during the commissioning done at Ijuri, Ekiti, one of the beneficiary communities, Princess Orilokwe Adefulire noted that the CGS, which was initiated under the SDGs framework, has helped to bring development to the grassroots across the country, as all states have benefited from it. Highlighting the projects which were commissioned, the presidential advisor said, in the education sector, a total of 26 contracts, new construction and renovation of existing facilities were awarded, while 17 contracts, new contracts and upgrading of existing facilities were awarded in the health sector, making a total of 23 contracts. Also, 22 procurements were made to complement the construction and renovation works carried out in the education and health facilities in the 4 local government areas. She also advised the beneficiary communities to guard the project jealously to ensure that they deliver the intended purposes in terms of their expected contribution to improving the lives of the people. Earlier in his welcome address at the occasion, Honorable Biodun Omoleye, the Chief of Staff to Governor Fayemi, who is also the State Chairman of the Implementation Committee of the SDGs, confirmed that all the 65 projects approved for Ekiti by OSAP SDGs were delivered 100%. He urged the beneficiary local government, relevant MDAs and town unions to come up with sustainability plan that will ensure functionality as well as endure lifespan of the projects.
This is just not one of those government projects that are just started and abandoned. The state office in Ado, the local government office in Notu, and of course the local maintenance committee in Nosu, they are all in charge of this project. So I want to assure you that this will not be abandoned and will be properly maintained and serviced.
Traditional rulers present at the commissioning commended the OSAP SDGs and the presidential advisor for the delivery of the projects.
For us, we consider it a privilege, a rare privilege, to have this type of infrastructure in this community, which is made possible by your office. We appreciate you, we thank you very much, and we assure you that we will make good use of this infrastructure. It will not be a waste. And you will hear that yes, this project is well maintained, because we will not leave it to die. We will ensure that it's well maintained, taken care of, to the advantage of all, and you in particular, you will be happy that this kind of project is sited in Italy.